5 pros and cons of living in Duluth, Georgia, and we're gonna get started right now. Hello, this is Tim Trevathan with Tim Trevathan Homes and Keller Williams Realty here in the Metro Atlanta area. And in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 pros and cons of living in Duluth, Georgia. Duluth is a Metro Atlanta suburb located in Gwinnett County. With its diverse population and vibrant downtown, there is a lot to love about Duluth, Georgia. If this is your first time to my channel, be sure to subscribe to it as I cover all kinds of real estate content related to North Metro Atlanta especially, and all over Metro Atlanta. Many of my clients who have moved to Georgia from other parts of the US have enjoyed living here, so if you are someone who is looking to move to Georgia, be sure to take notes on what I will be sharing. Let's start with pro number 1, Koreatown. When it comes to Duluth, there is no better place in all of Metro Atlanta and really the entire state of Georgia to find a large, vibrant Koreatown. Duluth and the nearby cities make up one of the largest Korean communities in the entire country. In fact, it's in the top 3 for the most populated cities where Koreans live. And with that substantial population comes a huge Koreatown that you don't want to miss out on. Now, when people think of Koreatown, they might think it's a distinctly centralized area, but really, it's sprawling across several big streets like Pleasant Hill Road, Satellite Boulevard, Peachtree Industrial Boulevard, and other arterial roads. Just like you would find in any bustling suburb, you can find any type of Korean business that is Korean owned and operated, such as law firms, banks, jewelers, used car lots, car mechanics, dentists, doctors, clothing, furniture, skincare, wellness shops, PC game rooms, K-pop stores, hair salons, pet groomers, and much more. They even have spas and saunas, often called by its Korean name, Jjimjilbang. And of course, I can't forget to talk about the restaurants, coffee shops, and desserts. At coffee shops, you can find anything ranging from bingsu, also known as Korean-style shaved ice, to your favorite bread, pastries, and cakes. You can take your pick at any classic Americano, tea, or fruit juice, as well as specialty drinks. When it comes to restaurants, there is everything here. There's the coveted Korean barbecue, which has exploded here over the years, going from one restaurant to 15 to 20 in the area, with half of those being in Duluth. There's also a lot of traditional Korean food like gamjaetang, 육개장, 설렁탕, and sundubu. You can tell I like my choice of soups. Given the immensely huge and well-established Korean community here, it's very possible for a native Korean from Korea to immigrate here and have 0 English speaking skills and survive quite well here their entire lives. So, an interesting fun fact about myself is that I am half Korean and half Caucasian myself. My mother is Korean, and I had the wonderful opportunity to meet my mom's family in Korea when I decided to move there several years ago and make Seoul, South Korea my home as an English teacher for 5 years. When I came back to the States, I started to plan which city I wanted to settle down in. After missing all the Korean culture and food in Korea so much, I couldn't help but consider Duluth, Georgia. And I am glad I did. I find myself tapping into the Korean American subculture by enjoying all that Koreatown and the community has to offer, while still being surrounded by American culture. It's literally the best of both worlds, and I can't think of a better place in all of America to experience this. If you want more information on Koreatown in Duluth, don't forget to check out my vlog style video where I tour the entire Koreatown and give intricate details about the shops and restaurants. Duluth 놀러 오세요. Con number 1, Gwinnett Place Mall. When you think of malls, you usually think of them as fun places to hang out with your friends and family. Unfortunately, not so much with Gwinnett Place Mall. This mall is dead. It wasn't always like this. It was all the rave back when it first opened in 1984. There were tons of shops and restaurants and a decent food court. But now, the majority of the mall is closed and inaccessible because of the competition it faced in the early 2000s. From newer malls in the area like Sugarloaf Mills, and of course, Mall of Georgia. Sure, there's a Macy's and a Mega Mart and a few other small tenants, but it feels desolate and bare. But get this, a huge announcement was made just on April 8th. Gwinnett County just bought the Gwinnett Place Mall and the 39 acres it sits on. This has been in the talks for what seems like forever, and finally, we have seen it come to pass. It will be interesting to see what new development will go on in the near future, so make sure to check back here when I bring the news directly to you in another video. Pro number 2, multicultural food. The food scene is absolutely amazing in Duluth, but I don't want to just highlight the food itself. I also want to bring to your attention that there is a large concentration of so many high-quality food options from a multitude of different countries. There is truly a beautiful variety of multicultural dishes that can be found all over the city. Whether it's Korean, Vietnamese, Chinese, Japanese, Thai, Mediterranean, Italian, German, French, Indian, Pakistani, Mexican, Cuban, Venezuelan, and much more, you can find just about anything to try. I even have friends in downtown Atlanta who take weekend excursions to come eat at some of these restaurants because they don't have the accessibility to some of the options where they live. In all of Gwinnett County, Duluth may be considered one of the prime locations to be exposed to global cultures via food. Con number 2, Koreatown. Now you're probably thinking, wait a minute, didn't you just say Koreatown is a pro about Duluth? Well, it definitely is for many, and personally, it's a major plus for me. But for some, it might not be the right place. If you're not open to diversity and multiculturalism, then Duluth might not be the place for you. Given that the Korean population is so enormous here, you will often find yourself mixed in with some of the culture no matter where you go. And when you're driving down Pleasant Hill Road on exit 104 off of Interstate 85, this is where you'll get the greatest exposure to Koreatown. At first, you'll see a McDonald's and a Chipotle. And then suddenly, as you keep driving further down the street, you'll suddenly find yourself surrounded by signs that have Korean symbols all over. When I first visited Duluth, I almost mistaken it for a different country. Pro number 3, downtown Duluth. Downtown Duluth is a major hotspot in the city of Duluth. For a brief history lesson, the railroad that passes through downtown Duluth was known as Howell's Crossing in 1871, and the town's name was later changed to Duluth in 1873 after Duluth, Minnesota. Businesses came and went over 100+ years, and the area also wore away until revitalization efforts took place in the last 15 years. It is now a thriving center for Duluth residents and nearby cities to come visit, where there are numerous stores, restaurants, breweries, a theater, and library that are all surrounded by an active adult community, high-end apartments, and single-family homes and townhomes. Downtown Duluth is popular amongst young families, working professionals, and active adults alike, thanks to the variety of housing options. Several gatherings including free festivals, concerts, movies, and other entertainment can be found on the town green with City Hall overlooking it. Not only that, if urban walkability is something that appeals to you, then Duluth has something for you no matter what your age or family status is. Be sure to check out my other video where I do a vlog style tour of the entire downtown Duluth area. Con number 3, unaffordability in downtown Duluth. While downtown Duluth is an amazing spot to visit, if you're looking to live within walking distance to it, then it comes with a high price. The lowest priced townhome community in the area is North Star at Duluth, which are 3-bedroom townhomes around 2,200 square feet that are selling as high as $450,000. If you want a little bigger sized townhomes with 4 bedrooms and around 2,500 square feet as well as single family, then the South on Main community is selling for an average price of $536,000. And if you truly want to be walking distance from downtown Duluth, right next to City Hall is the Park at Parsons townhome community that sells for $575,000. That's a lot. Not to mention, if you're looking for a single family home, they are outnumbered by about 3 to 1 when compared to the number of townhomes. So if you're looking for yard space, it might be hard to find. There are the Gardendale townhomes, which is the newest community available on Duluth Highway, right before you come up to the intersection with Buford Highway, and these are now selling in the lower 500,000s. Maybe for some of you, these prices are not bad depending on where you are from originally, but for Duluth standards, these are higher. Pro number 4, parks. Gwinnett County is home to one of the best park and recreation services in the US, and even has received a national award. Some of these parks are found right in the heart of Duluth. Shorty Howe Park off of Pleasant Hill Road is one that has a long paved walking trail as well as an off-pavement walking trail through the woods. a few baseball fields, and playground area. Another park that is probably one of the coolest is McDaniel Farm Park, which is both a park and history museum combined in a sense. This former cotton farm was actually owned by the McDaniel family for more than 100 years. Parts of it have been restored to resemble a typical Gwinnett County farm from the 1930s, back when, believe it or not, Gwinnett was very rural. Don't forget to check out the dog park here that brings a ton of activity for dogs and dog owners to enjoy. As you begin to explore the city, you'll notice that there is definitely no shortage of parks and amenities. Con number 4, Duluth police are strict. So let me tell you a crazy story. I was driving in downtown Duluth and I came to a stop at an intersection right here, as you can see. And once I drove past the intersection, I noticed a Duluth cop behind me in the rearview mirror. I started to slow down thinking maybe I was going too fast. He followed close behind for an extensive period of time, but I figured he wasn't going to pull me over because I knew my speed was under the speed limit the whole time. Suddenly, the blue lights go off and I get pulled over. When he gets to my window, he asks me why I thought he pulled me over, and I told him, was it speeding, sir? Well, he then tells me it was because I didn't come to a complete stop at the stop sign at the intersection I was at. Now, certainly he had the right to pull me over for this, but it was the first time I got a citation for this reason, and one that I didn't expect on a Saturday morning at 6 a.m. Lesson learned, come to a complete stop at a stop sign at all times, especially in a walkable area with pedestrians like downtown Duluth. If you see an all black colored police car, you can be sure it's a Duluth police car surveying the area very carefully. Pro number 5, central to Gwinnett County and Metro Atlanta. You may be wondering, why is this a big deal? Well, there are so many cool things about each city in Gwinnett County, whether it's in Suwanee, Lawrenceville, Beaufort, Johns Creek, Snellville, Norcross, Dekalb, Loganville, Grayson, and so forth. And being right in the center of these cities allows for easier accessibility and shorter commute time. Also, if I'm thinking of going further northbound, there's a world of outdoor activity up I-985 near Helen, Cleveland, etc., with mountains, rivers, walking paths, scenic trails, waterfalls, you name it. Duluth is also home to the renowned Sugarloaf Country Club, which is the southernmost country club in North Metro Atlanta, which makes it an easier and faster travel time to Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport for business trips and so forth. Lastly, con number 5, lots of apartments. In Duluth, there is an abundance of rental options. The rental options here include at least 1 to 2 dozen apartment complexes in and near the immediate area of your place of enjoyment in Duluth. For many, this might be a good thing due to proximity. However, for those looking to be homeowners in Duluth, this could make some neighborhood values stagnate because it conveys a quality of life that some are trying to separate from. Nearly half of these apartment complexes can be found south of Pleasant Hill Road until Beaver Ruin Road. So if you're looking to be in a more established neighborhood away from apartment complexes, then look closer towards Sugarloaf Parkway. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to subscribe to my channel and be sure to check out the vlog videos of Koreatown and downtown Duluth and other content related to North Metro Atlanta. Hope to see you on the next video.